All right, everybody, what's up? This is Kevin Wagmaker here. I'm the Instructional Technology Consultant here at MCC. I thought this would be a good way in these challenging and fun and exciting times to reach all of you. Normally, I go around in class, but this might be just a little bit more efficient. If you don't catch something that I say, feel free to ask questions. I'm not only presenting, but I'm also going to be moderating this as well. So I'm trying to pay attention to the chat area and not forget what I have to say to all of you. But I also want to make sure that this is a time that you can ask questions. So keep them focused on instructional technology, Canvas, Office 365, Teams meetings, things like that, if you can. But if you do have a question and I can't answer it, I'll do my best to find somebody who can. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you have a question, feel free to throw it in the chat area, and I'll cover the chat area here in a second. So here we go. Logging in. The first thing that you're going to want to make sure you do anytime you log in is use login.montcalm.edu. Bookmark that. You're going to want to make sure that you can return to that. I've seen a lot of different ways and routes that users are going to log into our My Apps area. Login.montcalm.edu is far and away the best way that you can do it. While you're doing that, you're going to be wanting to use browsers that play the best with what we have to offer you. For that, you're going to want to make sure that you're using Chrome, Google Chrome, or Microsoft Edge browser. And I say that because a lot of you probably use Firefox or Safari or even Internet Explorer. Those do not work well with Microsoft Teams. And a lot of you are going to be doing Teams meetings here in your course or your courses here at MCC. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're using Chrome or Edge browser, those are the browsers that you want to use. Canvas loves them the best too. Whenever you can, get the apps, the mobile apps, the desktop apps, specifically speaking, Teams, for example. The features that are available in Teams, from screen sharing to live captions, things that we'll talk about, and even the Canvas student app, work best and give you the ability to participate in things maybe and not be tied down to a laptop or a desktop computer. Maybe you can answer questions or ask questions of your instructors while on the move using the Canvas student app. So if you don't have the Teams app, if you don't have the Canvas student app, those are definitely some items that you want to make sure that you have. Another important thing, and something that's easy to overlook, is, and you probably heard this word before, but it's netiquette. And basically what that refers to is your presence and how you act in online interactions. Now, the example that I have up here is for just a virtual meeting. And since we will be hosting a lot of those, and you'll probably be participating in a lot of those, just some basic things. Now, the number one on the list is something that you probably, if you've had any experience in the last few months, which I'm guessing you probably have, is making sure that you're on mute when you're in a meeting, if you're not talking. This helps to minimize distractions. You've all heard the individual that comes into the meeting with the papers are rustling and the dogs are barking and the doors are slamming, and that can be pretty distracting. I also know that from my experience, I've accidentally been unmuted before, and that happens. But just do your best to make sure that when you enter a meeting or when you're on a meeting, if you don't have anything to say, keep your mic on mute. And then also you have the fun opportunity when you're trying to quickly unmute yourself and you're rushing to do that. And I'm not going to go through this whole list. I'll actually share this out as a Canvas announcement on the global navigation where you see the Canvas announcements. So I don't take your time, but I'm sure that in me sharing your screen, you've had a chance to kind of look through this list. And I'll be covering a lot of these things too, like test runs and stuff like that here in our little chat today. So back to the PowerPoint we go. So first things first, getting support. Obviously, that is very important, especially right now. And we have a few services set up. We have some opportunities set up for you as well. The first thing is the MCC Service Desk. 2 locations for that, here in the Sydney campus and in Greenville. Contact information is right there. I would say the best way for you to get a hold of them is via an email, because that generates a ticket automatically in our ticketing system, and a service desk tech can follow up with you as soon as they get to that. But you can also call, you can also drop in person. So there's definitely ways that you can get into the service desk to get what you need. Canvas also offers a support system. Canvas in our environment we have tier 1 support. I'm going to hop on over to Canvas to show you that. So if you are looking in your Canvas dashboard and you see the global navigation here on the left-hand side, you're going to see a help menu. And on the help menu at the towards the bottom, you're going to see a chat with Canvas support. Now, there's a few different ways that you can get support in Canvas. You can call, you can email, you can even go do a web search based on their community, which is awesome. But doing a chat is probably the best way to go. Now, here's the thing on this. Canvas is pretty busy right now because there's a lot of institutions getting back to on-campus learning and even virtual learning. So you can expect a little bit of a wait time. But if you are having an issue in Canvas at 2 a.m. or 12 a.m., our service desk is not open. Okay, so you're going to have to look for other support methods. And Canvas tier 1 support is a 24/7, 365. So it's always going to be available to you, but that's only for Canvas items. Like I said, it is a chat feature. There is the option to call as well. So lots of ways for you to get your questions answered. I do want to say one thing about Canvas for you. Canvas very rarely breaks. Canvas very rarely glitches. So if you miss a deadline and you're scrambling for an excuse, try not to blame it on Canvas. You're going to have to be more creative than that, or just turn things in on time. If Canvas does break or if Canvas does glitch, as they say, I get a notification of that and I send it along to the instructor so they're aware if there's an issue with file uploads or Canvas is running slow or things like that. So that's a nice little thing for you to know. So additionally, another service that is available to you now, and this is actually new this term, and that is I've added myself as a service within Starfish. So if you need some in-depth training, if you want to go over teams like, so hey, tonight, Kevin, you didn't really do a very good job of covering things. I want to learn more about Teams meetings and how I can join them and whatnot. All you have to do is go to Starfish. It's available via your MCC sign-in area. Here it is right here. And you go to Starfish and you can click to schedule a meeting. Now, this is not working for me right now because my login, I set this tab up a while ago, so it's not going to let me get here. But generally speaking, when you click on schedule, you're going to see the option to choose from Canvas support, Teams support, or General Office 365 support. If you want help with all of them, just sign up for one and we'll cover that in the meeting. But that's definitely a good way for you to get more in-depth training and very easy for you to get to and sign up for a block. As of right now, I only have availability from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. just because I wasn't sure of what students would want or what students would need. But we can definitely set something up at other times, obviously, to work around your schedule a little bit better. And last but not least, I mentioned the Canvas guides, but I also want to make sure that you know about our chat feature. This is something that we enabled way back in March. It seems so long ago now. But right here in the bottom right-hand corner, if you click on this, that will start a chat with one of our agents. Our agents are MCC employees, and they will do their best to answer your call or direct you to somebody that can, whether it be myself with instructional technology or any other concern, whether it be transcripts, financial aid, things like that. So very, very good spot for just your general questions as well. So there's lots of ways that you can get support for your instructional technology needs here at MCC. And you can always email me as well, and I'm happy to assist you. So moving into the more specific stuff. If you've ever been locked out of your account, we have something available to you to make it so that you can reset your own password. I know that it's not easy to have to go to the service desk to reset a password. So we have what's called self-service password reset in place. To access and set up self-service password reset is very easy. All you have to do is go to your MCC sign-in area and you'll see your little profile icon up here and you'll click on it. And all you have to do is click View Account. And that will take you to a backstage area. You click on Update Your Security Info. And this is going to allow you, now you're going to see things in here, but this is going to allow you to add a method to reset your password. Trust me, you definitely want to do this, because if you forget your password or get locked out of your account at midnight, the service desk isn't available to reset it for you. So if you're up against a deadline for turning in a paper, or you have something that's due in the morning and you need to be into your account, you're going to want to be able to set up your MCC or reset your MCC password. We recommend that you use the Authenticator app. It's a Microsoft app. It's available via your phone's app store if you have a smartphone. But you can also sign up via an alternate phone, so you can enter for a text message or a phone call. The bottom line is we want this to go to a separate device. That's that whole multi-factor, that other piece to be able to do that. So like I said, if you use the Authenticator app, you simply download it. If you click on this, it will walk you through the steps to set it up. It's very easy. If for some reason you run into some snags, which happens from time to time, you're not alone. You can come into the MCC service desk, or you can call, and we can do our best to walk you through it. The second part of this is the multi-factor authentication. This is something that we have turned on for all MCC employees, and it's coming soon to students as well. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA, gives us another layer of security for not just our accounts, but your accounts as well. We don't want you getting hacked. We don't want people getting into our system and making things more difficult. So if you use the Authenticator app to sign in for self-service password reset, you're also all set for multi-factor authentication. Some of you have probably seen multi-factor. You check your Gmail and it sends a code to your phone. You check your Apple account and it says, "Did you just sign on here?" This is very similar to that. It is one little extra step, but using the Authenticator app is definitely the way to go. We do have options if you don't have a smartphone, so we can definitely help you out with that. But with any of these things, as I go through, not just what I've said already, but as I go forward tonight, we can help you at the service desk just simply by you emailing, calling, or stopping in. So Canvas, this is another big one. I want to take a minute to go through some Canvas items with you. Just touch on some basic things that I think are pretty important as you navigate through, and some of you in a virtual environment. First things first, when you click on your Canvas tile, it's going to drop you into the dashboard. At the top, you will see these wonderful global announcements. This one here is very relevant. But this is, like I said, this is your dashboard. Okay, it's going to also show you your courses that you have available to you. It's going to show you any upcoming items that you have in your courses. So it's kind of like a to-do list right here, and you can actually click and go right to those things. More on that here in a second. It's going to show you what's coming up further in the future. And it's also going to give you a list of if you had any feedback. So if your instructor gave you feedback, you can find it right here. Moving on the global navigation, though, if for some reason you can't see the course you're looking for, you can go find all your courses right from this courses area. It's going to show you your favorited courses, but it's also going to give you a list to all of your past or upcoming courses. If you're in any groups, you can click on that and go there. The calendar is another helpful tool because it will show you, obviously on a calendar, everything that you have upcoming. And you can click right from the calendar to go to those things. Inbox, you obviously know about. You can use for messaging your instructor. All of these features as well are available via the Canvas mobile app. So if you don't have that, like I said, make sure that you go to your app store and get it. Now, one thing I do want to point out with the Canvas mobile app, there's 3 different versions of the Canvas mobile app. There's a student app, that's the one you want. It's got a red icon. There's a parent app, which you probably don't want. It's got a yellow icon. And there's also, excuse me, the parent app is blue with the blue icon. And there's a teacher app as well. That's the one that has the yellow icon. One last thing that I want to point out here is Studio. If you have to make videos for your classes, if you have to store video, Canvas Studio is available to all of you for free. This will allow you to turn in video to your courses. So if you need to film yourself doing something for a class, you can even access Studio from the Canvas mobile app. And that means you can record from your mobile device and upload directly from that mobile app. You can create screen recordings. You can bring in videos, as you can see here, from YouTube. So something you might have to turn in for a class, you can bring it in from YouTube and store it in here. Makes it very easy for you to find and get to. Let's see here. Also, I'm going to talk about OneDrive here in a second, but Canvas has integration with OneDrive, so you can get to all of your different files. So if I back out here and go to a course, and we're going to be using this course here in a second. So we'll go to Learning 101. You can actually see there's a link to Office 365. That's actually your OneDrive. So I know a lot of you from the area schools, you're used to using Google Drive. We use OneDrive and we highly recommend that you use it. We support it for you. We can provide security for you on it. We can recover documents that we can potentially recover documents that you accidentally delete. I've definitely had students come to me in a class before and said, I just accidentally deleted my entire Google Drive folder. Can you help me? We can't help you if it's Google Drive, but we can certainly have more of a chance to assist you if you're storing your files in OneDrive. And this integration with Canvas is just another reason because you can access all of your OneDrive files without ever leaving Canvas and turn items in that way as well. So I did notice that there are a few questions that have rolled in. I'm gonna try and get to some of those when I get a chance, but I'm just gonna keep moving forward with the Canvas items. I want to show you one last important thing, and that is feedback. So a lot of students sometimes have issues, not so much seeing the commented feedback from instructors, but annotated feedback that might be left on a document that you turn in or something like that. So you can see here I have one new grade in my grade area, but I'm going to actually take a moment just because some of you might be new Canvas users. If you click on the home button here, this is going to take you to whatever your instructor has set as your home item. So you can see we've added a new navigation here. This is called the course navigation. Green is the global navigation. This one is the course navigation. And you can see a list of available items. Okay, you notice that I clicked on the Office 365 already. You can also see who's in your class if your instructor has made that available to you. But another important one is grades. And to see any feedback that an instructor has given you, all you have to do is click on grades. And you can actually see your entire grade book right here. Now, don't worry, this is a sample course. I'm not giving all of you access to my grades. This is a test user. But you can see as I scroll down, these blue icons tell me that it's a new grade that's been entered. Okay, so I'm going to go down to one that I actually set up for tonight, and I'm going to click on that. So this is how you find feedback that has been left on a specific file that you've turned in. So we see our summary here. We can see our grade. We can see any feedback that our instructor commented on it if they were attached like a feedback file or something like that. But you can see with our file attachment, over to the right here, there's a view feedback. So if you attached a file and your instructor gave you annotated feedback, you're going to be able to open that up and you're going to be able to see it right here. This is also available in the mobile app. So you don't have to just be on a computer or a laptop. I guess they're both one and the same to see this. But Canvas kind of makes this a little more difficult to find, so I definitely wanted to point that out for you. So backing up just a little bit away from grades, most instructors will present your content to you in this module format. So you can see an example here. Here's week 1, and you're going to see a list of the different items that you're going to have to work through for that week. Obviously, your instructor will tell you and guide you as far as what's due when and what you need to be working on a specific night or day or whenever your course is, week. But generally, the module format is what instructors are going to use. One thing that I didn't point out, or two important things, is if we go back to the global navigation, I didn't tell you about notifications and setting up your profile. I totally skipped over it. So if you go to your account, you're going to see that you have a list of different items. And one of them is notifications. You, as a student, are responsible for setting up your own notifications. The instructor of your course does not get to decide how you're going to be notified. All right, so this is obviously pretty important. So you can see here when you go to your account and notifications, there's a whole list of different things you can be notified for. If you're not quite sure what it is, hold your mouse over it. It'll give you more of an idea of what each item is. And then over here is a way for you to set how you're notified. There's a key to help you out here as well, but the X means you don't want to be notified. So if a new due date gets set, I'm a Maryland student, the test user says they don't want to know about it. Okay, but you can also set notifications to happen right away, a summary at the end of the day, and a summary at the end of the week. Okay. Now, lucky for you, Canvas does a pretty good job of setting up your notifications, the default notifications, based on how most users set them. So you probably won't have to do too much, but just something to keep an eye on. If you need to be notified or you want to change your notifications, this is how you do it. The other thing that I failed to mention earlier was setting up your profile. Now more than ever, it's probably pretty important that you have more of a presence in Canvas. Since a lot of you are going to be meeting virtually, this is a good way for you to build community within your classes, within your peers, letting them know that you're not just a face on a roster. You can set up your biography, talk about your hobbies. What do you like to do outside of your time here at MCC? You can also put a profile picture up. So it's pretty simple to do. Obviously, you just click on Edit Profile, and there you're up and running. And you can add emojis too, as you can see. Marilyn got fancy. All right, so that covers Canvas. Just a little bit on Office 365. All these tiles, Office 365 designates the online offerings of Office products. So ones that you'll most likely use are like Outlook for both your calendar and your email. Now, a lot of your instructors will be sending you meeting makers for your Teams meetings. So it's very important for you to get those on your calendar, and it's very easy to do. If you get a meeting invite, you'll get it to your Outlook email, and you can just approve or accept the meeting, I should say. And then to confirm that it's on your calendar, over here in the bottom left-hand corner, I know way down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you can click on Calendar, and that'll open up your calendar and show you what you have going on. Now I'm going to show you Teams calendar as well. They're one and the same. They are the Teams calendar is an Outlook calendar, but just know that if you accept an invite, that's how you can get it to show up on your calendar. Also, another important app, obviously, is OneDrive. I see that a question came in from Tiffany on OneDrive. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that right quick. Give me a little break in the action. So the question is, if we save a file in OneDrive, will it show up through Canvas under Office 365? Yes, it will. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You start saving files in your OneDrive. So just from my Apps area, here's the OneDrive tile. I click on that, it opens up. You can just drag and drop files from your desktop. So if you were to bring up your Windows Explorer, you can drag files into here. You can also sync with your desktop. So you, instead of dragging one file or the other, you can actually bring in entire folders and libraries. So it's very easy for you to add items to your OneDrive. You can also create new items right here from the web-based version of OneDrive. Also, there's files on demand so that you can sync your OneDrive library with your desktop, because some of you are probably saying to yourself right now, but Kevin, that doesn't help me if I don't have an internet connection. Good news, you can still access all of your files even if you're not in an internet connection. So you're in a car riding down the road, not driving, you can be working on a paper in the passenger seat or in the back seat. And then when you get to an internet connection, you can pull in like a McDonald's parking lot or something, and it'll sync your OneDrive, and all those changes will be available on the web again. OneDrive is also really helpful because I forgot my computer before when I had to come to campus to give a presentation. But all I had to do was hop on a teacher station, or you could hop on a loaner, whether it be in a laptop card or a loaner from the service desk, and or in the lab, I should say. And you can bring up your OneDrive and have access to all your files. So it's really smart to make sure that you're using OneDrive. And very good question, Tiffany. Yes, you can definitely add those files to OneDrive and find them on Canvas. A couple other questions that popped in. Let me just check those right quick. On the Canvas phone app, do I use my MCC email? Yes, you do. That is the way to do it, because that will give you access to all of your Canvas courses in our Canvas environment. One last question that I see right now: will all invitations be sent to the Outlook email? So when I get to Teams, I'm going to explain this more, but Teams is a hub for like Outlook, OneDrive, and other Microsoft apps all brought together. So when you're getting that invite to a Teams event or to a Teams meeting, it's actually going through Outlook. So yes, you should get that invite to an Outlook email. And if I'm wrong, I'll make sure that I post something on the Canvas dashboard correcting myself, because I've been wrong before. So that's all for questions. I'm going to keep moving on. So also, I should add, that you have access to free downloads of Microsoft Office, the desktop version of Office. And to get to that, you can go from any of these apps. Up in the upper left-hand corner, there's this menu matrix. A lot of people have a lot of different names for that. But if you click on Office 365, it's going to take you to a home page where you can click to install Office. And just like that, you can install it. You get up to 5 downloads, so 5 different devices. So if you're walking around campus with 5 different devices, good luck with that, but you can download Office to all of those devices. All right, so I'm guessing a lot of you are here for this next item that we're going to dive into, and that's Microsoft Teams. As I mentioned, Teams is a hub for a lot of different things brought together. I definitely recommend that you make sure that you get the app. Reason being is because a lot of you will accidentally use like Safari or Internet Explorer or Firefox, and the features that are available in Teams are not always available on those browsers. So download the desktop app. It's very easy to get the desktop app. If I back out of this screen and hop on over to back to my browser, I get my mouse to show up, there we go. So you can access Teams, like I said, from the web, right here from the sign-in area. And one easy way for you to get the desktop app when you're in Teams on the web is to click on your profile picture. And just like that, you'll see download the desktop app. Very easy to do. When you're in here though, I also recommend, and I'm going to be using the, I know I said to use the desktop app, but I'm running a live event via Teams, so I don't have access to the normal Teams environment that I'd show you on, so I got to show you via the web. So setting your notifications is important. Click on your profile picture and go to your settings, and you'll see your notifications. You want to make sure you get notified for important things that happen in Teams. Just a little guided tour here. Just like you saw on Canvas, there's a Teams global navigation. This is going to give you all of your notifications in one convenient area. There's also a chat area. This is super helpful for communicating with other people at MCC. So maybe you need a message up here, or some people that are in your group. You can really easily just start typing in any name, and they will bring up other MCC users. And you can create a group with multiple as well. Another cool thing about these chats is you can easily start a video call from them with one other individual or a whole group of individuals, whether it be a department, like I said, or an individual. All of your teams are going to be obviously in the Teams area. Some of your teams will only have like one channel. Some will have more specific channels. The additional channels will make more sense to you as we go through, as you get used to it, and as you do group work and stuff like that. Probably the most important thing that you're going to encounter is your ability to access your meetings. And you can do that, like I said, from your Teams calendar or that Outlook calendar that I showed you. Your Teams meetings will show up on your Outlook calendar if your instructor scheduled them. So to join a Teams meeting, all you do is look for, and it doesn't look like Maryland's or my test user's been invited to any meetings, but you just simply click on one of these items right here, and you click on join, and that will bring you right into the meeting. Now, since I can't actually start a meeting because I'm already technically in a meeting right now, I put together an image right here that's going to walk you through the different parts of a meeting. So this is generally what you're going to see when you are in a Teams meeting. You might not see 9 individuals. You might just want your instructor to show up, and I'll show you a way that you can do that here in a second. But you can see here you got the run time of the meeting. That's how long the meeting's been going on for. You got an icon that you can turn your camera off and on. If you're muted or unmuted, this is how you reverse action on that. It's your microphone. Let's see here. I also included these things, so I better follow them. If you need to share a screen, you can do that. And that's very easy to do. You just click on that. It'll show a tray for you and allow you to pick from what it is that you need to share. So if you want to give a presentation in your class, you can see that you can find your PowerPoints. If you want to work on a whiteboard with a classmate, you can bring up a shared whiteboard space as well. So there's lots of functionality right here within that. To the right of that, you're going to see the menu dots. and that is a menu full of other really important settings within your Teams meeting. So the first one at the top is show device settings. If you can't get your camera to work or your microphone won't hook up, you might want to look into that, and that will bring up a sidebar on the right-hand side that will show you your speaker that's being used, your microphone, what camera you're using. So very important item there. One other thing that I noticed that I didn't include though was the enter the full screen. So if you want to get rid of other apps and increase the size, so maybe you can't see your instructor's screen that they're sharing very well, you might enter full screen, and you can do that right from here. Another thing is you want to blur your background or create a custom background. That's where show background effects come in. Now you're not going to notice show background effects in this menu unless you have your camera on. So that's important to remember. But you can also add in your own custom backgrounds if you want, or you can just blur your background or use what Teams has as templates for you. Live captions. So if you want your meeting to be captioned, you can see that as you're talking or as the presenter is talking, you can actually turn on live captions and you can see the captions happening right in front of you. It's a pretty impressive tool. There is a record button. You should not use that as the student unless you're recording like a group meeting with other students. Reason being is because if we have instructors recording meetings, which we do, we want those meetings to be stored in the instructors or hosted on the instructor's stream account. So if it's a class meeting, steer clear of the start recording. Your instructor will do that for you. You don't have to record a meeting yourself, so don't use that. And last but not least, a couple more items. If you're on a low bandwidth connection, meaning you don't have a good internet connection, it's not a bad idea to turn off incoming video, although you're not going to be able to see what your instructor is showing you. But if it's just a lecture or maybe they're past the point of showing something, you can always turn off incoming video, and that will help you save on bandwidth. So just a couple other things on this toolbar here. If you got a question, you can raise your hand using this icon. Just make sure that when you're done with your question, you click the icon again to put your hand down, and you can see that the instructor will actually see that a hand is raised, so pretty cool. There's a chat area. So if you want to ask a question during a meeting, or if you want to share a resource, kind of a back channel, you can definitely share using the chat area. And last but not least, when you're done with your meeting, you can go ahead and hang up. So a couple questions that rolled in before I move on. Is there a login for each of the meetings when we use the app? No, you should just be able to click on, if you've been invited to a meeting, you should just be able to click on it on your calendar and click join, and then you should be good to go, provided you've already logged into the Teams app. And another question, just an individual that wants to talk to me about some items. So we will move on from that one. So let's see here, wrapping this thing up, a couple more items. So one thing that we did want to roll out that we can't quite really roll out, but I just want to let you know it's coming soon, is we're working on creating a portal, a web page, if you will, for students to order laptops or computers for their own use. And so we will be rolling that out soon. More details to come on that. I don't want to spill too many of the beans here, but that should be pretty cool for all of you. Kind of a cool opportunity. Don't forget to sign up for SelfService Password Reset. Use the Authenticator app, and that'll also get you set for multi-factor authentication when we get that turned on for you. Like I said, if you have any questions, contact the service desk. Don't forget that sign-in area, login.montcalm.edu. That's the route you want to take. I know others are comfortable with going to the MCC website and going that route. Whatever works best for you, I guess, but this is definitely the easiest way. And last but not least, I know that a lot of you have already had a class tonight or today, but if you haven't yet, it's a good idea to take your instructor up on a test run if they do a Teams meeting. Try and sign into Canvas, look for your course, sign into Office and OneDrive and try and upload a file there. That way when you come to campus, you're going to know what questions that you need to ask and to get the support that you need. We have a lot of really awesome people here, from our president all the way across the board to our service desk attendants, to Student Success Center, to our librarians, And all of our instructors are so awesome, and they're all willing to help you. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes to try and get things in place for you, and hopefully you have a great experience this term here at MCC. And if nothing else, thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope you all have an awesome term. You all have a lot of awesome instructors that you get to work with. Do your best to communicate with them. Understand that they are learning new technology as well. Trust me on that. The classes that I visited today, the students were awesome as the instructors work through things. They're going to get better at it. I've seen a lot of growth in the tech use just in my short time here. So bear with them. They're going to bear with you, and we're going to do this together, everybody. So thanks for tuning in. Have an awesome semester, and if you need help, let me know.